All right, Pisces, thanks for tuning in to your yearly 2015 horoscope. My name is Athen. Okay, so I'm going to start off by talking about the overall energies of the year by looking at the eclipses and where our energies are best utilized. And then I'm going to talk about the transiting planets, their locations, and which aspects they're going to be forming throughout the year. So looking at the eclipses, the overall energy, we had the solar eclipse energy back in October in your 8th house, which has to do with transformation, wanting to get deeper into the more meaningful side of life. And so this is the energy, whatever that was, it's carrying over into the 2015, into springtime when we have the new set of eclipses. So for the first few months of the year, be sure to continue to focus on that, whatever that is. If it's a particular project, maybe that was something transformative for you, a new direction, continue with that. But if it's just a general outlook in terms of wanting to get deeper in general, continue with focusing on that as well. And you'll notice things are in flow when you do. Now, in that spring time period, we have the next set of eclipses, which are happening in Pisces, which is your sign. So there's something going on there that is going to involve a much greater sense of your goals or your self-identity. And I think it's going to come from a lot of this transformation or deeper side of life that you guys may have been focused on. Because at the end of the day, when we look at the more meaningful side of life, we can really learn a lot about ourselves. And I think that's what's really going to be the result of this. And then the new moon energy, the solar eclipse, is happening in that first house, which is then going to be the emphasis between the springtime and the fall time, so the middle part of the year. So that whole period is about you. It's about expanding your horizons, doing the things that are in alignment with you, your goals, your ambitions, focusing on self, Healthy sense, of course, it requires that balance. And that balance is where that north node is, which is in your 7th house, which is opposite that. So for the whole year, this whole experience is going to be about you developing your relationships, relating with others. And this is all relationships, developing them and getting more in touch with them. So for this middle part, it's very important that you balance self with other, but the focus is on you. What do you enjoy in your relationships? What are your goals? Are your relationships in alignment with that? But overall, just being, I think overall focusing on self while at the same time your needs and the needs of others is going to be the emphasis. But this can be the middle part of the year. This can be a very good time of really achieving a lot of your goals and success and ambitions. So focusing on that, focusing on what's important to you, I think is really going to be the strong emphasis. Then in September, we have the next set of eclipses, which are in the fall time period. So this is then a new beginning and cultivation of what took place earlier. And the cultivation is, I think, some sort of awareness, maybe even a new relationship, or your relationship's just overall being full. We have the lunar eclipse in that 7th house, so an overall full energy going on there. Perhaps you are seeing the abundance there, a new relationship, just things are going, it's just you're seeing it in full form, and it could be just harvesting whatever fruits you've been putting into that. Hopefully by focusing on self, that's been increasing and assisting your relationships. Then the new beginning is going to take place in your 6th house in that fall time period, leading you into 2016. So whatever that is, it's probably going to have to do with your self-improvement, maybe a new craft some of you might be developing. But getting in touch with your health, your physical, emotional, and spiritual health is going to be very good for you from that fall into 2016 time period. Okay, new beginnings there. Take care of your health. Make sure that you're getting plenty of sleep, you're eating the right foods, green foods, raw foods, that kind of thing as much as you can, a little bit here and there, listening to your body, of course. Through that, you're going to notice as your health increases, it's going to be assisting you in all areas of your life, because that's what this overall energy does. So overall, eclipse energy is just when you're focused in this area. So for example, in the relationship area, you'll notice it's naturally assisting all areas of your life. Those relationships are assisting you in work, your home, yourself, your community, etc. So this is the overall energy, and I think focusing on that is going to be very beneficial for everyone. And for you, just to recap real quick, up until spring, the focus is going to be on the transformation, deeper side of life. Okay, very powerful stuff there. Then from spring to fall, it's going to be about yourself, developing your goals, your ambitions. Then from the fall time into 2016, developing your health and your routine and those sorts of things. Very powerful when utilized. But overall, for the whole year, focusing on relationships with that North Node in that 7th house. You know, how can you create more peace, more balance in your life? Involving relationships, but in all areas. All right, so let's go ahead and look at Jupiter. Your ruler, Jupiter, is going to be in Leo in July, but up until that point, he's going to continue his very long transit of Cancer. And that's been in your guys' 5th house, and this is the energy for most of 2014 and for the first half of 2015. So for the first half of this year, this is your guys' 5th house. This is about your creativity, your passion, your zest for life. Lots of opportunities there for you guys to do the things that really make you happy. So see those things, and you know, Jupiter is the opportunities. The doors are open there, but you have to be the one to walk through them. So do something with them. You know, for example, if you're feeling creative, well, turn it into something. You know, even if it's something serious, just start drawing or painting, whatever you do creatively, and you're going to notice that there's a sense of optimism and flow and opportunity coming from it. Who knows, it might turn into something. But it takes walking through that door and actually doing something with those opportunities. It could be a new business. Entrepreneurship is 5th house. Children is ruled by 5th house as well. Things going very good there for those of you who have children, lots of opportunities. And just overall tapping into your inner child, being your true self and doing what makes you happy up until July. Then in July, Jupiter goes into your 6th house, which is then about your routine and your health. And that's where the opportunities are going to be for you guys for the remainder of the year. So do that. And this is where all the 6th house activity is really emphasized for you. You'll notice this around the summer time period. You're going to feel much more vibrant and healthy when you're taking care of your health and your routines taken care of, okay? When you're doing that, that's really going to support you in your path and in all areas of life. So let's go and look at Saturn. Saturn is going to continue his very long transit of your 9th house. He just recently went in there last year. It's going to be there all of 2015 and 2016. And so what this is about making your passions a reality. Saturn in the 9th is about taking all of your ideas, all of these possibilities. See, the 9th house is very expansive. It's all the opportunities that are available to us. But taking these opportunities and making something of it. That's what Saturn's showing you. Saturn's showing you that, you know, with all these, you know, there's opportunities everywhere. We have to actually make our opportunities sometimes. You know, everything is an opportunity. It's all what you make it, that kind of thing. And he's also helping you get more stern and disciplined in terms of your overall life path, helping you take that very seriously, and it's important. And when you do, you'll notice there's lots of positive changes in regards to your life path when you're taking that disciplined, stern approach for the next 2 years. So very nice, and Saturn always pays off where there's hard work. Now let's talk about the super slow movers that hardly ever change signs, starting with Uranus. Uranus has been transiting your 1st house for a very long time, helping you guys be more free, be your true spiritual selves. You know, you guys are really leading the way with this, with Uranus and Pisces in your sign. So the South Node's also there too. So there is perhaps some old notions about who you are and your identity, or those types of things which you are best just to leave alone, let go of, because it's just past life stuff or early childhood stuff that's just no longer serving you. When you do that, any old notions about self or feelings about self, there's a tremendous amount of freedom. But here's the way you do it. You just be free. Just be your true authentic self. And naturally you're going to notice that there's opportunities coming about. There's a sense of freedom. Uranus in the 1st house is just about being you, being who you really are, and then naturally through that it's going to assist other areas. Now let's look at Neptune and Chiron. Neptune and Chiron have been in your 12th house for a very long time, and so this is about your spirituality. And Neptune, your your secondary ruler, loves to be in that 12th house actually. So there's this beautiful peace and flow that comes from, you know, presence in your life and just bringing more presence into your overall experience, obviously creating more spiritual freedom, but also just spiritual tranquility. Chiron there is suggesting there might be some you know, healing that needs to take place in terms of the freedom in your life. So just be willing to do that. But I think naturally, the healing is going to come naturally when you're just in the present moment, going with the flow, connecting to the compassionate side of your higher heart, and being here now and being compassionate in general with yourself and others, naturally going to create a lot of positive unfoldments in your spiritual sector and just in your overall life, and heal you as well with Chiron. Now let's talk about Pluto. Pluto's been transiting your 10th, and so this has been very powerful changes to you guys' overall work and career sectors. Also, anything you do in the public image, public eye. So with Pluto, this is transformation, and it's about letting go of all the old emotions and feelings that are no longer serving us. But it's about stepping into your spiritual power, because once you embrace all of these aspects of yourself that might be fears surrounding your career or your work or what you're doing for the public, when you accept that, accept those fears, they naturally want to go. And then what's left is just your spiritual core, and that's the power. So your work, it's very important that you're doing a work that's, you know, it's compassionate, it's for others, it's for the greater good. And through that, naturally, there'll be a tremendous amount of spiritual power that will come from it. And you can do very good things through your work, essentially, with this kind of transit. When you're oriented in that way, there's just a tremendous amount of power for you to make changes and to do things when it's relating to that work, public sector sort of area. So speaking of that, I want to talk about this Uranus-Pluto square that's been going on for the past 2 to 3 years. And it's been affecting and transforming your 10th house like I talked about, but also your first house. And this is going to continue to be the case for the first 3 months of this year. Now this is the end of the square. We're coming up to the end of it in March. And so for these first 3 months, make sure that you are doing the work there. Release any old attachments relating to work or whatever is going on with the public sector. Be willing to let go of anything there, and then through that, naturally, you're going to gain a tremendous amount of freedom. Okay? Be willing to make changes around work, and you know what those changes are if you really go deep. You know, you don't have to, I don't think, but if you need to meditate on it, do so. But I think you know what those changes are. For the first 3 months, make those changes. Now's the time to do it. A lot of freedom to be had when you do that. And also, when you're stepping into your true authentic self, your true freedom, it's assisting you in that work area also. So lots of positive unfoldments in both of those areas when you're stepping into that power, when you're being your true unique self and making those changes, especially regarding the work stuff. So that is the first 3 months. Now January is a very important month for this, because this square has actually become a T-square with the North Node. Saturn is squaring up to the North Node, and Uranus is conjuncting the South Node in January. So what this means is when you do that stuff I mentioned, you're going to notice it's helping your relationships. So any action that's needed in January, January is the action month to do it. And you're going to notice that when you're making those changes in that work sector or what have you, it's going to be helping your relationships, and things are going to be nice and flowing there in that department, and also with yourself that I mentioned as well. But with the self, that's the South Node. So there's some old notions, like I said, about self that you want to release in January too. But again, just be your true authentic self. Not all the stuff, the status quo, people, what they want to believe you are, and the ideas we've accepted from others in terms of who we are based on how society or other people see us. No, it's the true you, the unique you. Through that, just be that in January. It's a very freeing month, and that can create some very powerful transformations in your life. Now, like I said, March is when this Uranus-Pluto square ends, so that's a powerful month. It's also the month we have the eclipses, and we have a very important aspect taking place that's been ongoing. Jupiter's been trining up to Uranus since September of last year, and he's going to continue to do so up until June of this year. So for the first half of this year, the emphasis is really on you guys being your true self, like I was talking about, but seeing the opportunities that are coming from that. And the opportunities that are coming are you guys being much more expressive, being yourself, not only in the image, but in your passion, in your joy, in your zest for life. Jupiter transiting your 5th house. There's a lot of creative energy that's coming out when you guys are being your true authentic self. So very powerful. You want to keep doing that, especially March, June, but that whole first half of the year. And also the more creative and the more you do the thing that you enjoy in life, you're going to notice it's supporting you make these changes, supporting you be your true authentic self. So very powerful stuff. Now August is another month where we have some aspects. Jupiter is squaring up to Saturn. And so this is about constructive change in terms of these opportunities in your life. And it's constructive change relating to a lot of that 9th house activity that I talked about, being the creator of your path. Through that, August is a month where you, by doing that, where you can really start to improve your health and overall well-being. Because by that time, Jupiter is going to be in your 6th house. So there's those opportunities that are going to come from you taking care of your health. And August is the month where I think you're really going to want to solidify that, really start to make advancements towards improving your overall health, which will then improve your overall life path as well. Now September, very powerful month because we have eclipses again, then we have 2 aspects. We have Jupiter opposite Neptune and Saturn sextiling up to the North Node. In terms of this Jupiter opposite Neptune, there's some balancing that's going to need to take place between your 12th house and your 6th house this year, especially from September through November. And this is the house where it's about, you have your spirituality on one side, your aloneness, your alone time, and all these things that help you connect to spirit and source and God. Very important on one hand. Then you have your physical, like health and the requirements and all this stuff I'm talking about in terms of your daily activities. So it's very important that you balance these 2 sectors. And you'll notice that when you do, the more healthier you are, the more it's helping your spirituality. And the more you get in touch with your spirituality, the easier it is to take care of your routine, take care of your health. Balancing those 2, the better it's in balance, the more you're going to notice that things are nice and flowing, your health is improving, your spirituality is improving. Now Saturn sextiling up to the North Node in September, so there's a positive energy now that can go towards relationships in September. So September could be a month where you make some positive advancements. Now it's an opportunity because it's a sextile, so you may choose or not choose to do it, but I recommend that you make strides and changes, or just do whatever comes natural in terms of opportunities with relationships in September. Maybe making new ones. It could be a new relationship for some of you, actually. New opportunities there as well. So there's just some action perhaps needing to take place to capitalize on an opportunity involving relationships in September. Now October, Jupiter's again going to trine up, and he's going to be trining up to Pluto this time. And this is going to be from your 6th to your 10th house. So again, this health and all of this stuff, very emphasized here for you guys. 6th house is really going to be supporting the changes in your work. And that makes sense, you know, it's like when you're taking care of your health, you're feeling good, well, of course that supports your work. These houses are completely related. That's why it's a trine element. And also when you're making changes to your work, you're going to notice it's supporting your health and your routine as well. And it could also be developing a skill or a craft. You'll notice that as you develop a craft or skill at work, it's assisting you in your overall, perhaps, notoriety at work or your overall business if you're self-employed. Now November is the last month with aspects. Jupiter is going to be opposite Chiron, which is again balancing those 2 houses that I mentioned in regards to your routine and spirituality. And Saturn's going to square up to Neptune, which is again grounding spirituality here, very important. And this is about taking those steps. And I think November is going to be a very powerful month in terms of which steps you take and how you take steps. Which steps you choose to take, and then taking that action is going to assist you in your overall presence and flow in your everyday experiences. All right, guys, so I'm going to draw a card and see where Spirit would like a little more emphasis for you this year. Okay, Uranus. Well, that is a very awesome energy. Like I said, Uranus is playing a very important role. He's in your 1st house, so I think this is just a message from Spirit to be yourself. Be yourself this year, you know, tap into that true self. Anything that gives you a sense of freedom, you'll know it's in alignment, it's flowing. Notice how universe is holding the whole universe. Uranus is holding the whole universe in the palm of his hand. He's seeing the endless possibilities, and when you're free, when you're your true self, that's what you have. You have the universe in your hand. So I think this is just an indication to just Be yourself, guys. Enjoy your year. Maybe bring some excitement into it and see the opportunities because they may come out of nowhere. That's just the energies of Uranus. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great 2015. Please get in touch if you'd like a personal reading. I do both recorded and live sessions. You can click the link on the following page. Please let me know if you have any questions, and have an awesome time. Take care.